The climate change crisis is something that affects every single human being on the earth, some more directly than others, making it a human rights issue. For example, homeless people in Winnipeg suffer from extreme heat and cold due to climate change. Often it is the poor and vulnerable that suffer the most. Another example is subsistence farmers in Asia and Africa who get affected by droughts and extreme weather changes, which is bad because both continents boast a large youth population. Yet another example is the melting ice in the Arctic, which has affected the Inuit's traditional way of life. The Sustainable Development Goals is a set of 17 goals that the UN made to accomplish by 2030 to achieve world peace. Now, climate change directly affects a few of them, which we'll get into now.
The first two goals that global warming affects is life on land and life below water. Life below water is affected because coral reefs are dying through human contact, and species of aquatic animals are being overfished, and life on land is endangered because people are not being responsible and hunting endangered animals and ruining ecosystems and entire lifestyles.
Climate change affects certain jobs and economic growth as well. Some jobs, such as farming, will be especially impacted by prolonged droughts and unexpected weather patterns. A simple way climate change affects workers is that those who spend a lot of time outside will need additional protection. Some jobs might disappear altogether, and others will become more important. For some people and their families involved in jobs that are close to disappearing, their livelihoods will be drastically affected. In the impoverished areas where most people will be losing their jobs, it's going to be a struggle to find another job.
Good education and well-being is also affected by global warming because some children may not be able to go to school because they need to assist their parents. For instance, if a farmer isn't making enough money through farming because of a drought, they may have to pull their kids out of school because of financial issues or simply to get more workers so they can hopefully make some money. Climate action is obviously impacted by global warming. The warmer the average temperature gets, the more climate action we'll have to do.
Final one is reducing inequalities. Climate change affects the poor and vulnerable the most because they have the least amount of protection and control over their circumstances. For example, people living in remote northern areas of Canada often struggle with poverty. Food is expensive and jobs are few and far in between. The vicious cycle of poverty is made even worse by environmental conditions worsening.
How does this relate to human rights? We can all see how real climate change is and how it affects the poor and vulnerable people the most. We need to take action so more people don't have to experience the consequences. I can't feel my hands.
The final one is
Action!
The first global war.